A pleasant good morning, folks, and good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. We are here at the Liberian Embassy in Washington, D.C. The President of Liberia, His Excellency Dr. George Manneh Weah, is making his way here at this embassy for a brief stopover, and we are here briefly just to bring you the brief stop by the President. He's going to be here to take a look at the embassy here in Washington, D.C. And of course, shortly we will be looking at the facility here. It's going to be the walk-in by the President, by the way. And we are wrapping up down the activities of the President here in the United States of America. My name is Smith Toby. I'm always around bringing you these bits and pieces of information. The Liberian ambassador to DC is right here in your camera, and of course you will hear the siren in the background shortly, and that is to give you a welcome sound of the Excellency the President of Liberia, Dr. George Manneh Weah. These are the secret agents or the security team working with the President. The vehicle with the President of Liberia is turning in here, and we are glad that the President is going to be just making a stop along with the First Lady of the Republic of Liberia. They are in this vehicle, and of course the team of security, the ambassador is also right in your camera. The doors open. His Excellency Dr. Weah is just making his way outside. It's a brief stop by the President, and of course His Excellency is making his way right in here. It's a brief stop by the President just to make sure he can take a glance of the Liberian embassy here. The staffers are at work. First Lady is also in the camera, and so His Excellency Dr. Weah, the ambassador. These are the staffers, and he's taking the walk through the section. In the back of the President is the Minister of Foreign Affairs. What exactly he's doing? And so he's watching into the visa section.
This is our try to position ourselves.
The President is just in the chat.
Every time we come to DC, we pass by.
Thank you.
You still remember?
Yes, I remember.
And, you left and you came back. So we're happy to be here again.
Thank you.
I wish you all the best.
Thank you.
Okay. So the President is just taking a tour inside of where we are, concluding his stay here. Keep watching. So what we do here is to make sure that the ambassador is taking the president on a guided tour, the conference room.
This is where we're going to speak to us who are here. We understand because of time and protocol, we need to go fast. Yeah. We just want to see the people on the way out.
Okay.
So we're upstairs from here. I'm not going to lead the way again.
We are flipping through the corridors. Just 1 minute. We are climbing the stairs here. It's just a walk in by the president. So he's going to come in this section, and these are the staffers of the embassy. And this is the First Lady, His Excellency Dr. Weah. And that's a typical Liberian voice. Thank you, yeah. That's typical Liberian way. 1 minute, just trying to catch the shots along with the president. And we are running through just in the shots of the camera. This should be the office of the ambassador. His little conference room is here.
Yeah. We are glad that you came back for the office in time. Yes. So we have to applaud those that left here. Yeah. Take care of the place. The minister and his deputy, they're formulating things to make sure it falls. So that's good. Welcome back. Thank you. Thank you, Mr.
And so His Excellency is just wrapping up the stay here. Get on with us. We are closing up every other portion of the president stay here. And we are catching the stairs once again. Sense. And so the president is returning. I'm very sure it's been just a walk in by the president of the Republic of Liberia. Just he's been explaining about what's happening with the picture around the world. And you get on here, you stay watching. There's a conversation. The president is looking on. The chief of protocol to the president is also right into your cameras, and they are discussing just off camera right now. We move our camera a little bit, and so the president completing his stay here in the United States of America. So if you just join us, you are watching us here from Washington, D.C., the embassy of Liberia. The president is paying a visit, a working visit, saying the setup, interacting with the ambassador and others, staffers of the embassy. And here is a this is what the embassy put here. The embassy of the Republic of Liberia, Washington, D.C. welcome His Excellency Dr. Manneh Weah, President of the Republic of Liberia, the delegation. And so this is on the wall of the entrance of the embassy. We are wrapping up DC finally with all of the successful introduction with His Excellency President Joe Biden, and of course and the rest of the African leaders. Africa is now returning. The leaders are wrapping up their stay here in Washington, D.C. And so our president is doing likewise, closing up here. But to do that, it is of a very good composition to come and see where our mission to Washington is situated. And so he's thought to pay a visit here, make a stop to interact with them. And so the ambassador and the Minister of Foreign Affairs, D. Kimia, are taking the president on a tour. In the back are embassy officials, some officials of the security service, and what have you. And so he's just going through the various wings of the embassy. And that's exactly what seemed to be taking place right here with His Excellency Dr. Weah. And
the passport.
Yeah.
Okay. So how long it takes?
It's actually 30 days. Let's say so no less than that.
6 weeks.
6 weeks.
okay, so the various section seem to be very intact. And so the president, D. Kimia, the ambassador, the First Lady of the Republic of Liberia, the Secret Service agent is the bright lady, fair color in the back, goes in there, and they are wrapping up everything here. And the way to do it is to wrap up. And so these are conversations beyond the scene. And of course, we will take it off the camera at this point. And so the president is going to do some photos here. And after the photo section, and these are photo sections now. The ambassador and his staff will post for the photo. But folks, I'm very sure it's been a rewarding time here in Washington, D.C. with His Excellency President George Manneh Weah and team. And so, owing to the fact that it's been on occasion, and the guys are passing aim and shots, so let me try to relocate while they are running through the various shots. That's how we're going to wrap up apparently. But again, we are closing up with His Excellency the President of Liberia. Washington, D.C. has been a very active place for His Excellency the President in the last few days, holding several meetings. We will unfold those meetings for you in our subsequent lineup of activities here from DC. But again, like we've always want to do for you, is to keep you in the know that the mission to the United States, specifically Washington DC, is about wrapping up now. will be leaving the bailiwick of Washington, D.C. sometime soon. And of course, closing the state here in Washington, where in fact he was joined by over 40 African leaders during their stay here. And so, taking everything into consideration, it's been a very successful engagement, a wonderful interaction. And like we said, the president has been concerned and eager in putting forth the concern of Liberia, especially as we move to the 2023 general and presidential elections. And so in his conversation with President Joe Biden, he was key to stress support to Liberia election in 2023. And again, a commitment from our traditional ally, of course, the United States of America, is to make sure that democracy flourish across the globe, and Liberia is of no exception. And to do that is to make sure that Liberia gets all of the necessary support to keep the democratic space alive. And you wouldn't believe the sort of interaction encountered by the president of Liberia. And of course, the delegation has been cutting across Morocco into Egypt, and then on to Paris, on to Qatar, and then into the United States of America. It's about wrapping up here, and you ought to keep informed about that situation. And so we have stayed here. If you're just joining us, the president has decided to pay a working visit here at the Liberian embassy here in Washington, D.C., a meeting with the ambassador and his team here in Washington, D.C., to again have some acquaintance with the team here. Remember, this is the president's first official visit to D.C., and Siku Kalasco is just about to pass in our camera. Good day, Jomade. Yes, good to see you. And of course, the protocol team will get rolling, and it's a wonderful time. Ambassador Dave Maxwell came here is also running. They're trying to catch their vehicle now to make sure that they can return safely. This motorcade of the president is zeroing out of the complex of the Liberian embassy. It's been secured in. There's a female, two special service females that are into that vehicle. One is driving the president, one is a special agent assigned to the president, and they are closing up here. Beautiful arrangement. The Americans have done their part. They've provided all of the security for the state of the president here. There is not a single Liberian security in that vehicle. So it is the president with the agents assigned to the president onto this very huge suburban vehicle. And you can tell that the convoy is now set, and as soon as they will be clipping up of our camera, they are about clipping all of our camera. Now the sirens will start to give us a signal that they're going to get the road shut down at this point, and the president is about departing Washington, D.C. And of course, there you have it, folks. President Weah is on his way out of Washington, D.C. And so, getting on to all of the conversation, the discussion around it, there you go. There you have it. It's been a wonderful introduction. I'm just tilting this camera out here for you to see where we are. It's been a nice time speaking to you on this departure out of Washington, D.C. for the president of Liberia. Folks, it's been a very hefty, hard-working running trip here in a very cold weather. Until I can talk to you again, this voice of mine, my name is Smith Toby. It is always my pleasure. Thanks for joining me. Another day, another time, I'll be back with you. God bless you, and enjoy the rest of your stay wherever you are.